Figured I'd make this video for some of you guys that don't understand what's going on with Navy Thomas 8s Sorteo. Basically, if you look at this crude little drawing here I have, this is the oil tank. It's actually right up by the backbone of the frame, and this is crudely the motor. If you look here, I drew basically this oil tank holds the oil, then it gets pumped down to the motor, circulated, then pumped back up to the tank. Okay, and this works for warmer weather and everything. It actually works in our area to a degree, but it makes it basically a 3-season bike, because the oil will be cool up here, gets pumped down to the engine where it gets heated up, then circulated, then when it gets pumped up back up to the tank, it gets cooled down. And it gets more so whenever it's in cooler weather. So this reaction in the cooler weather of being heated and cooled real quickly back and forth, of course you're going to get condensation. It's going to pull, and where is it going to get this condensation? From the air. And the air can be inside the motor, it can be sucked in from the outside. So what happens with this condensation? Well, say it sits in the bottom of the tank, and this is kind of a speculation part for me. It'll get pumped down in, and what does it do? Its condensation is nothing but water. It'll get pumped through the engine and create things like the rust they found in the camshafts on the top, and it'll also create rust in the bottom, which they've only checked in and going to replace the camshafts on the top. I don't know if they're going to be checking the bottom out. Okay, we got this. Now, okay, it's got water, but why is it blowing the valve cover? The valve cover gasket and warping the valve cover? Well, that's simply answered. Say you go over here, and this will be the right side of the bike. You're looking at the right side of the bike here. Well, on the right side, you got a vent hose. Tom showed in this vent hose. And the reason I know this much about the bike is because I've actually seen it. I can't remember how many twists and turns it has, but they're got at least one 90-degree angle, if not two, you know. But in our part of the in the cooler part of the country, say we got these. If you have a water line that's exposed, and I'll make a ridiculously shown thing, and if you got the water running, whenever it gets below 32 degrees, you start getting ice build up on the outside, and the pipes will actually freeze. The water pipes will actually freeze from the outside and layer themselves in to the point where you get nothing. It's blocked. And I believe this is what's going on with this vent hose. The vent hose, and if you think about it, anything whenever it goes around goes around a tight bend, it slows down first. Even if it's for a split second, it'll slow down. But then whenever it slows down, it'll let loose a little bit of water, because that's where the water vapor is going through. It's trying to get out, up through the hose, because it's building up pressure inside the block. It splits down, and it'll actually do it, just like I drew here. See, I draw another one, and this ain't even. Okay, this is ridiculous, but you get an idea. It slows down, puts a layer down, puts a layer over here, then puts another layer, puts another layer, and puts another layer, until it's plugged up. There's no place for this pressure, this or steam to go anywhere. Basically, that's what it is. It's letting out steam. So where does it go? It starts looking for. It's building up more and more pressure in here. It's building up more pressure, and it's going to look for the weakest part. Evidently, the weakest part is the valve cover and the gasket. So it just blows it out. Okay. So they replaced the valve cover and replaced the valve cover gasket. Now they're replacing the camshafts because they're rusty. Okay. And then they say they're going to be doing tests, pressure tests, to see why is it building pressure here. Well, it doesn't take a scientist to figure this one out. It's the hose. If they were to eliminate that hose and figure out how to vent it straight out, maybe with a filter of some sort, right from or right off the motor, maybe that'll work. But if that freezes, but yet as he's moving along, you're going to get the cold air to go through, and it's even going to freeze that filter up unless they put up some sort of a shroud around the front side of it. I mean, if they test this and test the engine, not running it like Navy Thomas 8 did in colder temperatures, they're going to find absolutely nothing. They're not going to find anything what's wrong with this engine, because it's not going to be frozen. They're going to end up draining the oil out, replacing it, probably get rid of what little bit of water is in it. They're not going to look at the bottom. I know there's going to be rust in the bottom, and they're just patching this thing. It's not an answer. And then they're going to find nothing. And they can test this all they want, unless they run it for a long period of time in the same conditions, and it can't be sitting still. It's got to be going down the road, letting that cold air, really cold air hit, to make sure there is no heat going up to this bend. Because whenever he's riding it down the road, the heat's not coming up to this bend. It's going to go past it. It's because the heat comes to the back of the bike. I mean, it's just, it's not going to work. I figure I kind of try to explain to what's going on. Some people are taking piece by piece what's going on. It's like, oh, how did the cams get rusty? That's how they got rusty, from the moisture. And the moisture is coming from the oil. In the wintertime, heating up quickly, cooling down quickly, heating up quickly, cooling down quickly, and you're going to get moisture. It's what's going to happen. So, well, why is it venting? Well, it's got a hose. The hose is freezing up. It's the water moisture is going up through the hose, freezing on the sides, and then it's just like our water lines. Our water lines around here. They freeze from the outside in because they create a layer. It's just, I don't know. They're not. This is a doomed. This bike is never going to be fixed right unless at least they change that breather hose. It might have a chance. But you're still always going to be dealing with moisture in the wintertime. Which, I mean, to me, that would just say, hey, just change the oil more frequently. You could do that. But unless it's going to be a doomed engine with a crankshaft and whatnot in the bottom, and it makes sense. There's rust on top. There's going to be rust on the bottom. I hope this helps everyone. So about the crude drawing, this is MuzzleMike signing out.